Damn, son.
Hi guys, it's your boy, Eternal1 here, and today we're gonna talk about 10 Christmas facts you should know. Okay, so before we get started, I want to mention a few things. You know that time where we have to wait to open our presents we got for Black Friday? Or maybe Santa sneaks in your chimney and lays a little present. Yeah, just places it right there under the tree without making a sound. No guys, it's all a lie. Spoiler alert, little kids, Santa's not real. Alright, it's a little lie to get you in quote Christmas spirit. Now, if anyone's actually watching this, and post down in the comments below saying something like, Santa's real. I'm a parent and I can verify that Santa's real. Don't believe him. Santa's real. No, they are lying, right? And I will provide you with evidence. You should already know that. I mean, honestly, we're in 2016. I mean, all you have to do is literally just go on Google Maps, look at the North Pole, and you'll see that there's no Santa. Anyway, I've heard some pretty dumb things over the 14 years I've been alive, and one of them is Santa. Yeah, you know, one time I've heard from someone, right, that, you know, when their parents got caught, you know, putting presents under the tree at 3 o'clock in the night, they were explaining to me how they were just helping Santa, and Santa only gives some gifts, and it made no sense to me. I was like, what? I just had to intervene into that conversation because I was like, no. You know, it's honestly, in fact, the first time I was even introduced to Santa, my mom basically just said it was made to trick kids. I was like, okay, I didn't even know what Santa was, so ever since I remember, basically, I knew Santa was fake. It doesn't somehow invoke some spiritual Christmas spirit, aka Satan spirit on me, alright? I know Santa isn't Satan, but I find it funny how similar they are. They both tempt people with stuff, they're both depicted normally wearing red, just to add to the fact that their name, it's so similar. Like literally, Santa is Satan if you move the N to the end. But enough about my rambling on about Christmas, and let's get into the actual video. So the first fact on this little list is that Rudolph has parasites. Now hear me out, right? Scientists were the ones that made these claims. The same scientists, quote unquote, that thought Hillary would actually win, who thought vitamin C cures terminal cancer, and you can use a mirror to draw on the moon. I'm not saying all scientists, you know, are like this. Most of them contribute greatly to society, and I find them really cool, you know, right? How they can, you know, present facts and, you know, study them. It's really cool, but it's just a small, very small minority of them that sometimes just get things a little bit too twisted. Anyway, these scientists were from Norway, and they believed that Rudolph's red nose is a sign of a parasitic infection of his respiratory. Alright, first of all, Rudolph is fake. Okay, it's fake. Fake things can't have parasitic infections. So if it even was real, then how would Rudolph be able to even like walk his sleigh, you know, or pull the sleigh for that matter, if he has a respiratory system, aka the untreatable parasitic version of asthma? Because unlike asthma, you can just take an inhaler and, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes or whatever, you feel a lot better. This is a parasitic problem that won't go away from just taking an inhaler. So at number 2, we got that zoos sometimes feed their animals Christmas trees. It's not all zoos, it's only some, but what they do is that with all the donations they get from people who's like, hey, have a Christmas tree, some of them just feed it to the animals instead. Like, hey, alright, that's some plant that we don't have to buy, right, for our little kangaroo here, or whatever, yeah. We got fact number 3, alright? So the next thing is mistletoe actually means little poop twig. Apparently, it got the name of mistletoe because the Anglo-Saxon version, mistletoe, which is little poop twig, because they decided they should name it mistletoe because the plant spreads through bird droppings. So basically, if a bird poops, instead of just sticking to the top or just, I don't know, right, just basically just spreads it through, all throughout the leaves, and alright, just let that sink in for a little bit. It's really weird. I don't know why they would honestly, like the Anglo-Saxon people, they look at a plant, they're like, oh, okay, it spreads through bird droppings, the most random thing. Alright, let's name it Little Poop Twig, you know? Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like naming the roof of your car Mukes First, which is poop roof. And don't tell me how I know Mukes First is poop roof, because there's actually a translation site, and it actually took a while to actually translate that. So yeah. Then of course, you know, people back then were into eating, how should I say it? Defecated manner of birds. So the tradition of kissing one isn't far-fetched, cause you know you use both your mouth to eat and kiss, and you know they would like to do things under the mistletoe, such as eating the bird excretion. It's a little bit, alright, I'm joking. They don't eat bird poop, but that is the actual meaning. Little poop twig. Okay, on to the next fact. At number 4, Christmas was actually in the middle of like paganish religion. So basically, around the time everyone's starting to get in the Christmas mood, or maybe a little bit, you know, just around the general time, from December 17th to January the 5th. Back in the olden days, these were actually notorious days dedicated to pagan religion. Anyway, it turns out that the Christian church was fed up with this, and they automatically declared December 25th the birth of Jesus Christ, just cause of that. And apparently, if you don't, if you guys might not have heard of this, or you just don't know the term, pagan religion is basically any religion that's usually polytheistic that involves stuff that Christians would believe to be witchcraft. And you know, it is kind of ironic.
Now listen closely. Here's a little lesson in trickery. This is going down in history.
Well, the next fact, the 5th, is that President Teddy Roosevelt banned Christmas trees from the White House in 1901. It isn't as crazy as all the other facts, to be honest, but I still find it pretty interesting how he just banned things. Oh, and if you guys don't really know why he would ban it, like, huh? Why would he do that? Basically, Teddy Roosevelt was known to be a conservationalist. That means he didn't want to like hurt natural life in the forest. He didn't want like cities to pollute things. You know, he was a quote-unquote tree hugger. You know, that's why Teddy Roosevelt he actually helped to create a lot of the national parks that you see today, conserving the wildlife of various parts. And that's also how teddy bears were actually named after Teddy Roosevelt, because he would save forests, and forests have bears, and you know, stuff like that.
You have to chase a superhero on the run. We are number 1.
Well, the 6th fact is that Santa had a horse before he had reindeers. Okay, you got me. It's not Santa, alright? I confess, I'm sorry. The Viking version of Santa, aka Odin, it's actually a Viking god, but they're so similar. Like, I believe the person who created Santa, well, Santa was inspired probably out of Odin and Saint Nicholas, who is an actual person, a mixture of both to get Santa, right? They're actually very similar. The difference is that he rides around on a black horse with 8 legs. It's weird. The children would wait for Sleipnir, which is the name of the horse, and they would feed it goodies in their boots and stockings, and as well as either punish or give the children presents. Now, it's just a legend, But the story is strikingly similar to the, story of Santa, excluding the horse with 8 legs. So the 7th fact is kind of weird, and it might gross some people out, but I will say it. I will say it anyway. Okay? All the reindeers have general masculine names. They're assumed to be mostly male, at least, if not all. Well, fun fact, male reindeers actually shed their antlers during the winter, so it basically leaves it with 2 possibilities. Now, the first one that comes to mind is that they're all female, or is that they're all castrated. But yeah, guys, I'll just leave it at that.
No, don't touch that.
The next fact is actually interesting because at number 8 we have a question you had or have not have had before regarding the topic of Christmas, right? X in Christmas. Many people don't know why Christmas is abbreviated to Xmas. Some say, well, it's removing Christ from Christmas, and some, just they say, I don't know, cause X, whatever, X is the last letter of the alphabet, and Santa is the last. It's Christmas is near the end of the year, and X is the end of the. It's actually not true. The real reason that there's X is actually because in the Greek letter system, X is basically the English equivalent of CHI, and that's the first letter for Christ in their language. So since then, it's been abbreviated as Xmas, and I think that actually makes a lot of sense. Alright, the 9th fact, Christmas in North Korea. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, people in North Korea are, pretty isolated. So it shouldn't really be a surprise that they don't celebrate Christmas. But what they do celebrate might surprise you, right? Apparently, they celebrate the birthday of King Jong-un's, right? His mother's birthday, which is December 24th. How usually? I will save the best fact I could possibly. I was like, wow! Best fact for last, right? And today is no exception. It's a legit and known fact that 100% of people who give or receive presents on Christmas eventually die. But I do hope you guys have a great Christmas wherever you are, even if you have the worst Christmas you can imagine. I bet there's someone in North Korea having a worse one than you, and you should just be grateful, honestly, but still, just have a good Christmas, right? I hope you guys really do have. It seems like I'm reiterating what I'm saying, but it is true. But I'll catch you guys later, and it's your boy Eternal One, and I'm going off, of course, to kill Santa.
We are the Illuminati, yes, the Illuminati, and if you enjoy our Master Eternal One's content, then be sure to like and subscribe, and you will be spared when the time comes to take over.